Okay, good morning, everyone on this call. My name is Coach Wealth. I want to use this opportunity to thank our coaches, senior coaches, Coach Moore and Coach Salisi for giving me this opportunity to present to you guys once more the technical analysis class. We do this every Friday, and I happen to be the one to take this section every Friday. So if you are new on this call, please, I need a 111 on the chat. If this is your first time, King Mohammed, good morning. King Emmanuel, good morning. Good morning, everyone in the house. If this is your very first time of being on this platform, please, I need a 111 on the chat. It's very important so I can know how to break things down for you to understand properly. Like we said, let your mind be open-minded. You have a lot to learn on this platform. Welcome, King Asalem. Welcome, King Karil. Welcome, King Ifeanyi Chukwu, King George, King Rolling, King Afamufu. You guys are welcome. Pay attention. Carry your writing materials. You'll be getting some important information that you need to know. So let's kickstart this section now because of time. Now, this is Rqtmi Motion International. Trading. So in Rqtmi Motion International, we have our own style of trading, which we are going to be talking about today. We are going to be talking about that today. So today, we are going to be talking about trading with analysis. So as a newbie, when you just come on board, we have ways we trade. We have one, you trade without using analysis. There is a rule we are going to give to you. Follow the rule, trade without analysis. Don't mind my writing, but follow my words. Trade without analysis. That is the first thing you are going to learn as a newbie. You trade without analysis. You follow a simple rule and you get result. But we are not talking about that today. We are going to talk about that some other time, or we have a video for that already, which we are going to send to you as soon as we onboard you. The second thing you're going to learn, probably you have started making use of trading without analysis, you've understood the concept and appreciate it, you're seeing results. But you want to go further in your trading skill and you want to learn how to trade with analysis. That is when you will now find yourself in this class, or you now have to go through our different videos, series of videos on this class to get to understand better. But this is a live section now. Now, trading with analysis. Trading with analysis, we have three ways we trade with analysis. We have first, we have what we call the short entry. We have short entry. Second, we have what we call long entry. Third, we have what we call pro strategy. Now, last week we talked about short entry and long entry. We didn't talk about pro strategy. But I'm going to talk about short entry and long entry again just because of newbies on this call. Then subsequently, we are going to treat pro strategy if time permits us. Now, what is short entry? Short entry is for people who do not have patience. You want to come out as fast as possible from your trade. You trade using short entry. Short entry, you don't take more than 1.5%. More than 1.5%. Highest you can go is 2%, so that you come out of the trade faster. For long entry, this short entry usually favors people who have big capital. Just imagine doing 1.5% of $1,000 or $10,000, and you can do it like 2 times, 3 times in a day. Then you see for long entry is for people who do not have much capital, like they have like $100 or $200, and they want to go, they want to make a lot of profit. Now you can take from 3%, 4%, 5%, thereabouts. You can take that. Now, we are going to be focusing on short entry and long entry in today's section. Now, for you to analyze using short entry, let's talk about short entry and long entry. You need two indicators. So that is why we call this session Rqtmi two indicator tactics. Two indicator tactics. This is the heading of the Rqtmi two indicator tactics. So we make use of two indicators. What are the indicators we make use of? We call stochastic RSI. Stochastic, don't mind my spelling, stochastic RSI, and we have the auto Fibonacci retracement or auto Fibonacci numbers. These are the two indicators we make use of, and we are going to be talking about these two indicators today. So for the stochastic RSI, for the newbie, you don't have this, and even if you have this, you have not set your chart to be in this format. There's a video for that is going to help you set your chart to be in this format. Please take note of that. Now, for the stochastic RSI, what is the stochastic RSI? It is a combination of a red line, green line, blue line, and the yellow line. Red line, green line, yellow line, and a blue line. Now, this is a layman description. But now, if in crypto terms, you call this red line the seller zone. This is the seller zone. This is the seller zone. In forex, they call it overbought, oversold. Yeah, this is what we call it. The green line is known as the buyer zone. Take note of that. This is known as the buyer zone. Then the yellow line is 50% sellers and 50% buyers. Meaning on this yellow line is at equilibrium. The decision between the sellers and the buyer is at equilibrium. That is what is happening at this point. Now, the RSI is known as relative strength index. So what does RSI helps you do? It helps you know when to enter a particular trade, and it shows you who is in charge at the moment, whether it is the buyer or the seller that is in charge. That is what the RSI tells you. Who is right? Ifeanyi, please, you are writing on my screen. Please, Dollar Queen, help me out. Ifeanyi is writing on my screen and you are distracting the class. So right now, what is the function of this RSI? So the combination of the seller zone, the buyer zone, the 50% seller and buyer zone, and the RSI itself is what is known as stochastic RSI. So what does stochastic RSI helps you to do? Stochastic RSI helps you to know when to enter a particular trade. You don't just come into the market and enter at any point you like and go out at any point you like. No, there must be an indication that should tell you this is the right time to enter into a trade. Dollar Queen, are you still seeing my screen?
Yes, coach. Yes.
Okay. So RSI tells you this is when to enter a trade. Now, when using this RSI, you make use of it within time frames. And what are the time frames? When you look up here, you see that we have different time frames. We have the 1 minute time frame, 2 minute time frame, 3 minute time frame, 4 minute time frame, 15 minutes time frame, 30 minutes time frame, 1 hour, down to the 1 month time frame. So you use all these time frames alongside with stochastic RSI to know when to enter a trade. So for you to use this stochastic RSI, it now depends on you. When do you want to use it for short entry or you want to use it for long entry? for short entry, let's talk about for short entry. We want to use it for short entry. For short entry. Short entry. That is what we want to use it for. Short entry. Now, for short entry, there are time frames we work with for short entry. There are time frames. $Queen, please send the script on the chart, please. Let them see so that they can relate with what I'm saying. For short entry, we have the time frames we work with for short entry. We have 1 minute. On your book, you can put 1 minute to 15 minutes time frame. You can put 5 minutes to 1 hour time frame. Then you can put 15 minutes. No, I think it's 30 minutes. Excuse me. 5 minutes to 1 hour time frame and 15 minutes. Queen, correct me, please. Have you dropped the script?
Yes, yes.
Okay. We have the 1 minute for short entry. We have 1 minute, yes. 5 minutes to 1 hour, 15 minutes to 4 hours. Yes, that is what we have on the short entry. Now, for short entry, it is divided into two. The time frames are divided into two. We have what is called short time frame. Take note. Short time frame is different from short entry. Under short entry, we have what we call short time frame and long time frame. So this long time frame is also known as what we call confirmation time frame. So you can call it long time frame or confirmation time frame. Take note of that. So under short entry, we have what's called short time frame and long time frame. So what is the short time frame among these time frames that I've marked out now? If my 1 minute is my short time frame, it means that 15 minutes will be my long time frame or confirmation time frame. Take note of that. If 5 minutes is my short time frame here, it means 1 hour will be my long time frame or confirmation time frame. Then if 15 minutes is my short time frame, it means 4 hours will be my long time frame or confirmation time frame. I hope this is clear. So if you are writing, that is how you write on your jotter or your notepad. So I will say that there are conditions now. Why are we stating this? Because we want to use these time frames. We want to use the RSI on these different time frames. Now, there are conditions to do that. Now, for a short time frame, we have conditions for short time frame. And for this short time frame, these conditions, there are 3 conditions that must be met on the stochastic RSI. These conditions must be met on the stochastic RSI on the short time frame. Remember, I said 1 minute is my short time frame, 5 minutes is short time frame, 15 minutes is short time frame. Right? From what I explained now. Now, on this short time frame now, there are 3 conditions that must be met. Now, one of the conditions is that your RSI, by now you guys know what is RSI, which is this blue line, must or should be touching the green line. The green line is known as the buyer zone. This is the buyer zone. So the RSI in this point is touching the green line, which is the buyer zone. But you look at it, we are on the 4-hour time frame. We don't want to be on the 4-hour time frame. We want to be on the 1 minute time frame, because I said if you are looking at the short entry, you are looking at 1 minute to 15 minutes. Then you are looking at 5 minutes to 1 hour, and we are looking at 15 minutes to 4 hours. So let me go out of the 4-hour time frame and let me be on the 1 minute time frame. On the 1 minute time frame, Where do we want, I'm going to do for people to understand better, let me do back testing on this to explain. So on the 1 minute time frame, we are on the 1 minute time frame now. Now for short entry, the condition we are looking at the shorter time frame. So I'm taking 1 minute as my short time frame, then 15 minutes will be my long time frame. So let's look at 1 minute. So I'm on the 1 minute time frame. What are the three conditions I want to see on the short time frame? First condition is that the RSI should be touching the green line or the buyer zone. That is the first condition, right, please? Second condition is that the RSI must be between 0 and 20. 0 and 20. The RSI must be between 0 and 20. The third condition is that the RSI must be pointing up or should be pointing up, and there's a conjunction to it pointing up, and should or must be between 0 and 25, which I'm going to explain now. So these are the three conditions on the shorter time frame. One is that the RSI should be touching the buyer zone or the green line. Second condition is that the RSI should be between 0 and 20. The third condition is that the RSI should be pointing up and should be between 0 and 25. Take note. So if it is pointing up and it is beyond 0 and 25, that condition is not valid. Take note of that. So how do we see these conditions on the stochastic RSI? That is what I want to show you guys now. Now, if you look at the 1 minute time frame, which is this point, then it means that you are on the 1 minute time frame. So you want to look at the RSI, the stochastic RSI, if it is meeting the condition for shorter time frame I just listed now. Now, what is the first condition? You see that the RSI, which is the blue line, is touching the green line at this point. So the first condition is valid, which is the buyer zone. It is valid. The second condition is that you want to see the RSI between 0 and 20. Now, King Adamu, please, you are writing on my screen. Now, you want to see the second line and the second condition, which is between 0 and 20. We said the RSI should be between 0 and 20. Now, looking at the first condition, now looking at the tip of the RSI, if I extend it from the tip, I extend it out towards my right-hand side, you will see that the RSI is currently at 6.73, which is between 0 and 20. So let me extend this so that you guys can see what I'm saying. Look at 0 and 20. I hope you guys are seeing my screen. 0 and 20. This is 0 and this is 20. So the RSI is between 0 and 20, which is currently 6.73. So that is the second condition that you want to see. The third condition, we said that the RSI should be pointing up and must be between 0 and 25. So currently the RSI is not pointing up. So this is what I meant. Now from this point, if this RSI turns like this and is now facing up, it should be between, this is the third condition, that it is pointing up, for instance, and it should be between 0 and 25. So this is 0 here, 25 is somewhere around this point here. Please take note. So if I extend it, you see that it's between 0 and 25. But if it has exceeded 0 and 25, let's say it is at this point where my arrowhead is at 40, that third condition is no longer valid, even if it is pointing up. So we are now saying that it is not a must that all these three conditions must be met at the same time. We just want to see at least any two of these conditions should be met. At least any two conditions should be met. So these are the conditions for short entry, short time frame rather, for short time frame under short entry. Now, Now we have confirmed, we are seeing currently, we are seeing two conditions was met. Does it mean I should enter this trade on this 1 minute? Because I told you that the RSI helps you to know when to enter a trade. Now, you don't just go into the trade on the 1 minute time frame because you have seen at least two conditions. There must be a confirmation check on a longer time frame. That is why I said longer time frame, or you call it confirmation time frame. So if 1 minute is now if 1 minute is my short time frame, it means that 15 minutes is my long time frame or confirmation time frame. So meaning I have to do a confirmation check on the long time frame. And why is it important? It is important to do a confirmation check on the long time frame because if you enter on the 1 minute and you are not able to come out of the trade within the next 1 minute, if all things be equal, if there's no fundamental news, within the next 15 minutes, you should be able to come out of that trade. That is why you want to do a confirmation check on the longer time frame. So take note of that information. So having checked my 1 minute time frame, it has given me signal to go ahead and pick my trade on the 1 minute time frame. But I'm not going to do that. I have to do a confirmation check on my longer time frame, which happens to be my 15 minutes time frame. Now, which happens to be my 15 minutes time frame. On the 15 minutes time frame, which is my longer time frame, there is a condition that must be met on the longer time frame. Just one condition we have. And what is the condition? That is what we want to look at for now. The condition is that the RSI must be between 0 and 50, which means it must be between the yellow line and this green line. So let's enter the 15 minutes. We are still on the 1 minute. Let's enter the 15 minutes. Let's see what is happening on the 15 minutes. Now, good. You see that on the 15 minutes, the RSI is not between the yellow line and the green line. Meaning on the longer time frame, the condition is not valid. We want to see a situation like this. Please take note, I'm backtesting. We are going to do live practical. I just want you guys to understand. We want to see a situation like this. On the longer time frame, we want to see a situation like this, that the RSI should be between the yellow line and the green line, which is at 0 and 50. This yellow line is at 50. It doesn't matter whether it is coming from down to up or from up to down, like in this case. We just want to see it to be between the yellow line and the green line, which is 0 and 50. That is the condition for longer time frame. So if this condition is now met on the confirmation time frame, you now have the go ahead to go back to your you now have the right to go back to your 1 minute to enter that trade on the 1 minute, because I said that the stochastic RSI helps you to know when to enter a trade. So you now go to the 1 minute to enter that trade. The same thing if you are doing 5 minutes to 1 hour. When you check on 5 minutes, become your shorter time frame. You check on the conditions for shorter time frame. If at least any two of that condition is met, when any two of the conditions are met, all you need to do is go and do a confirmation check on your longer time frame, which is your 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, you come and check, where do you want to see your RSI? You want to see your RSI between the yellow line and the green line, which is between the buyer zone and the 50% seller and buyer zone. So that is how to use this condition. So I will say that now you now come to your 1 minute. Now, on your 1 minute, you want to take trade. You want to enter because your conditions were met on the 1 minute and you want to enter. Please take note. Your stochastic RSI is never enough for you to pick a trade perfectly. You need the help of 2 or more indicators to pick a trade almost perfectly. So that is why we are going to rely also on the auto Fibonacci retracement. So for you, after your RSI has given you the go-ahead to enter the trade. You cannot use the RSI alone. You need the help of the auto Fibonacci. So just like I have talked about the RSI and its function, what it helps you to do, the conditions under it, and everything we've talked about for stochastic RSI, we are going to also talk about the auto Fibonacci retracement number and how to use it alongside with stochastic RSI. So when we treat about them individually, we are now going to combine these two indicators and use them simultaneously. But first, I'm treating them individually for you to understand their different functions. So I have established a fact of stochastic RSI. So what is going to happen now is the auto Fibonacci retracement. Let's talk about the function of the auto Fibonacci retracement. Let me make this screen better and bolder. So now on the 1 minute, let's assume yes, our stochastic RSI has given us a go ahead. You can enter this trade on the 1 minute after confirming from longer time frame and everything, and you came back to the 1 minute. Now, and I said you cannot only use your stochastic RSI, you need a combination of your auto Fibonacci to do that. But yet, you need to know what the auto Fibonacci helps you to do and how to make use of it. That is what I want to explain now. Now, how do you make use of the auto Fibonacci? What does it help you to do? It helps you to know on a particular time frame if it is an uptrend or a downtrend. So how do you know that is an uptrend or a downtrend? That is what we want to establish. So on the 1 minute time frame, we have gotten a go ahead from the stochastic RSI that we can pick our trade, but we need the help of auto Fibonacci. So coming to the auto Fibonacci, I need to know first, is it an uptrend or a downtrend? So how do I know is an uptrend? How do I know is a downtrend? That is what I want to establish right now. Now, for an uptrend, these numbers you see here, 361.8%, 261, 161.8%, 127.2%, 100%, 78.6%, 61.6%, 50%, thereabout. These numbers are what is called the auto Fibonacci numbers. Auto Fibonacci numbers. Take note of that, please. Now, these numbers I'm going to be making use of it to determine uptrend and downtrend. So whenever I see 100% at the bottom and 0% at the top, this is an uptrend. Please take note of that. Conditions for an uptrend: 0% at the bottom, no, 100% at the bottom, 0% at the top is an uptrend. So remember I said it helps you to know if a particular time frame is an uptrend or a downtrend. So 100% at the bottom, 0% at the top, this is an uptrend. Now, to further confirm that is an uptrend, you will see a diagonal line projecting from bottom. This diagonal line, this is it. From here to here, this diagonal line, you see it projecting from up. But let me draw it better. Now, you see a diagonal line projecting from bottom to top. To top, let me thicken it. So, this is diagonal line. It's projecting from bottom to top. So, then when I started, the numbers were confusing me. So, what I usually use to know immediately that is an uptrend or a downtrend is this diagonal line. So when you see it projecting from bottom to the top, you know it's an uptrend. So for an uptrend, you want to see 100% at the bottom, 0% at the top. Take note of that. Then for a downtrend, let's see if any other time frame will give us downtrend. Okay, good. On the 3 minutes time frame, I'm looking at it. For a downtrend, what is the condition for a downtrend? You want to see, for a downtrend, you want to see 0% at the bottom, 0% at the bottom, 100% at the top, 0% at the bottom, 100% at the top. This is a downtrend. To further confirm that is a downtrend, you will see the same diagonal line projecting from the top down to the bottom like this. you know that this is a downtrend also. So that is the condition for an uptrend and condition for a downtrend. So that is what it helps you do. It helps you know when a particular trade is an uptrend or a downtrend. Is that clear? Now, good. For a downtrend, now that we now know uptrend and downtrend, let's go back to our 1 minute. Let's go back to our 1 minute. Why it is good to pay attention? All these conditions I'm talking about, when we are doing long entry, it's still the same condition. I'm not going to talk about it because I've already stated the condition. The difference between the short entry and the long entry is in their time frame. So where I'm using 1 minute to 15 minutes, 1 minute, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes are shorter time frame. For longer time frame, I will make use of 1 hour to 4 hours, 4 hours to 1 day, just like that. It's just the time frame, but it is the same condition. So if you are writing these conditions down, better for you. Better for you, please. Now, I'm back to my 1 minute. I'm back to my 1 minute. Now, I have found out that this is an uptrend. How do I make use of it now? Stochastic has given me a go ahead. I've come to my auto Fibonacci and I've realized this is an uptrend and this is an uptrend. So how do you now use it? Now for an uptrend, take note, please. Don't allow all these candles to scare you. Take note of this. Let me make it easy for you. Once you identify this diagonal line, draw it up from bottom to the top. The point at which the diagonal line meets the candle at that top, you want to put a vertical line on top that very candle. Now, like this case, a vertical line on top this very candle. Like this, on top this very green candle. Now, I am not interested in the candles before the diagonal lines. All these candles before the diagonal lines, take note, I'm not interested in it. What I am interested in, these are the candles after the diagonal line, both for downtrend and uptrend, please. You are interested in the candles after the diagonal line. Now, of all the candles I am interested in, after the diagonal, the candle I'm most interested in is the current candle, which is this candle. So I want to know the position of this current candle, because for an uptrend, there's a condition where my current candle must be for me to enter the trade using the auto Fibonacci. Just like there was a condition where my RSI must be for me to say on the 1 minute time frame I should trade on it. Then when I check on my auto Fibonacci and find out that it's an uptrend, that current candle must be in a particular condition position for me to know that yes, I'm good to go to trigger my entry. So where do I want to see for an uptrend? For an uptrend, you want to see your current candle on the 61.8% line for an uptrend. This is 61.8% line. This line. Let me bolding it. Let me use another color. Okay, this is the 61.8% line. So I want to see my current candle for an uptrend on the 61.8% line or anywhere below the 61.8% line. Please take note of that. Now, in this case, this is my current candle. I am seeing my current candle below the 61.8% line, which is between the 78.6% line and the 100% line. Fine, good for me. It is better for me. It is perfect for me. So now that you have seen it on this position, is a good entry point. You can now decide to enter the trade at the current price. Where is the current price? The current price of this candle is at 0.17033. You enter at this price, at this point. This becomes your entry point. Now, remember I said for short entry, please, you don't want to see your for short entry, you want to come out as fast as possible. So your take profit should not be more than 1.5%. So if you are using like $10,000 or $1,000 to trade, 1.5% of $1,000 is $15. And you can do that for 2-3 times in a day. That's good money. That is good money. But if you have $100, you cannot be using this is known as my price range. Sorry, I'm using my price range to locate my 1.5% from this point. So 1.5% is somewhere around there. So you can use a horizontal line to mark your exit point. This becomes your exit point, and this becomes your entering point. So you entered at 0.17033, and you are expected to come out at 0.1729, which is 1.5%, because you are doing short entry. Because what you are doing is short entry. Please take note of that. Then if this is an uptrend, we said you want to see the current candle on the 61.8% line or anywhere below the 61.8% line is a good entering point. So all you need to do is you put your trigger on the current price. That is your entering point. But you will see, for those of you who have seen our signal group, our signal comes with preset price. So the idea of preset price is that we are not taking that coin at the current price. Reason is that there are people who might not see that signal immediately after we drop the signal. So we need to leave allowance, because we know that the crypto market moves to and fro. It will return back. So we leave a little bit allowance. So if the current price is at where my price range is, this my price range is, what I will do is I'll leave a little bit allowance. This allowance becomes my preset price. So the price is not on my preset price yet, but I sent the signal with this preset price of 0.17030, and the current price is at 0.17033. Now, why did I put my preset price there? Because I want that if I drop the signal, let's me buy time for some persons to come and meet up with the signal to enter the trade. So you find out that the current price will retrace back to my preset price, and people will have the opportunity to enter. But if you are trading yourself, no need for preset price. You can take at your current price and take your 1.5%, and you are out. So that is for short entry. Now, if we are checking like the 3 minute now, for instance, if everything on the stochastic is good to go, and if everything on the stochastic, let me delete all this. They're on. Okay. Let's assume that everything on the stochastic is okay. So that is that for an uptrend. I believe you guys understood. So let's do downtrend. Then before we take a live trade, and I'll send that live trade signal on the signal channel. Now, for a downtrend, let's assume that we have checked the stochastic RSI on the shorter time frame. Everything is correct, and we're having a go ahead. But we have to come back to the shorter time frame using the stochastic, using the auto Fibonacci. Let's assume it's the 3 minutes, for instance. Now, first thing I will come on the auto Fibonacci. Stochastic has given me go ahead on the 3 minutes. But on the 3 minutes, on the auto Fibonacci, I have to confirm if it's an uptrend or a downtrend. So 0 at the bottom, 100 at the top. Obviously, this is a downtrend. So it doesn't matter whether it is an uptrend or a downtrend. You can enter a trade at any trend. Please take note of that. You can enter a trade at any trend. It does not mean if it's a downtrend, you will not trade. Let it meet the condition. So now, At 0% at the bottom, 100% at the top, this is the downtrend. To further confirm that it is a downtrend, like I said, you look out for the diagonal line. It's projecting from up to down. Look at the candle at the bottom that it terminates with. Indicate that candle. Carry your vertical line, place it on top of the candle. Now, take note, all these candles before the diagonal line, you are not interested. Sorry about my. You are not interested in all these candles before the diagonal line. The candles you are interested in is the candles after the diagonal line. And of all the candles after the diagonal line, the candle you are most interested in is the current candle. Now, since you have now identified everything like this, now what is the condition? Now, for a downtrend using short entry, you want to see the current candle on the 0% line. For an uptrend, you want to see it on the 61.8% line, the current candle. But for a downtrend, you want to see it at the 0% line or anywhere below the 0% line. Like in this case, it is a little bit below the 0% line. So if you see it in any of this region, fine, it is okay. So in this case, we saw it at the 0% line. No, below the 0% line. So this is the current candle we have seen on the 0% line, like this. Now that we have seen this like this, what do we need to do? We have to take entry at the current price because the condition was met is below the 0% line. So this becomes my entry point. And remember, for short entry, I want to snipe the market. I want to come out of the market as fast as possible. Probably I'm making use of $10,000 and I'm making use of $1,000 thereabout, or even 520. But I just want to snap the market like 2 times, 3 times in a day and lock up. So now that I have taken this entry now, I'll just measure with my price range. Price range 1.5%. 1.5%. Do not take more than 1.5%, please, because you are sniping the market on a shorter time frame. The movement on the shorter time frame is very fast. Because most people do not have patience. A lot of people do not have patience. That is why we also, for those people, you can do short entry and come out as fast as possible. This is 1.5%. And you trigger, you are out of the trade. So I will say this, if this is clear, we want to take a live trade using short entry. Then I'll come back to long entry. Then we talk about long entry and we take a long trade. If time permits, we take a live trade using short entry as well. So my boss said I should use a live trade, please. Okay. So let's look at the coins we have for short entry. So if you guys understood short entry concept, let me know on the chat if you have gotten value so far. So we are looking at, I have to pause everything for the candles not to move because I am trying to see how I can explain to you guys to understand better. So far, if you are getting value from this section, I need the word value on the chart. Okay, now let's look at a particular coin. So now, once you just sign up as a newbie, please, they are going to give you 25 volatile coins. Stick to these 25 volatile coins for the meantime. These are coins that are proven to have good use cases and they have their own blockchains. They cannot be delisted by any exchanges. Because we said on the video we told you people to watch, they said it there, one of the disadvantage of this particular this business we are doing is delisting and floating loss. Floating loss is not a real loss. It's not a permanent loss. It's a temporary loss. Once the price go up, you recover and get your money. Then delisting, exchanges do delist. It's not Rqtmi's fault. Exchanges can delist. That's why we have come up with these 25 volatile coins, and we have told you that stick to these 25 volatile coins. They cannot be delisted by any exchange because they have their own blockchain. So if you want to analyze, we come to these 25 volatile coins. Let's start with the most deep coin. We buy the low, we buy the low, we buy the deep and sell the pump. Take note of that. What do we mean by we buy the deep and sell the pump? If you want to analyze, you come to the most deep coin and start your analysis from there, because you want to buy low and sell high. You don't come to this cake that is doing 9 point something to come and analyze. It's not that you cannot do it, but that requires high skill, high level of technicality, and that is what is called the smart money concept. Please take note of that. So coming to Fuse, let's look at Fuse and let's see what Fuse has for us. Now, fine. On Fuse, now the first thing I will do, in my mind, what do I want to achieve? I want to enter. I have $1,000. I want to enter a trade sharp. I want to come out as fast as possible. So I'm looking at long and short entry. So since I'm looking at short entry, I'm looking at the 1 minute time frame. Let's look at the 1 minute time frame. Now, on the 1 minute time frame, what do I want to see on the stochastic RSI? I said there are three conditions. On the 1 minute is my shorter time frame, and there are three conditions for the shorter time frame. I said at least any two of these conditions should be met. So currently on the shorter time frame, it is obvious that we are seeing two conditions. The first condition is that the RSI is on the buyer zone, which is the green line. The second condition is that the RSI is between 0 and 20. Currently, it's even at minus 0.0 if you look at it. So we said at least any two conditions should be met. We are not seeing the third condition, but it is fine. So since I have confirmed on the shorter time frame, which is by 1 minute, that at least two of the conditions are met. Now look at it, it is pointing up gradually. So what will I do? I will come to my 15 minutes time frame. Now, on the 15 minutes time frame, this is my long time frame or my confirmation time frame. On my confirmation time frame, I want to look at the RSI. Where do I want to see the RSI? I want to see between the 0% and the 0% line, which is the green line, and the 50% line, which is the yellow line. So currently my RSI is between 0 and 50. So it means that I am good to go. So what will I do? The next step is to come back to my 1 minute and take my entry. So I'm on my 1 minute now. But on the 1 minute, we said that the stochastic RSI is not enough to make us pick a trade perfectly. We have to look at the auto Fibonacci. On the auto Fibonacci, the first thing you do when you call, you want to check if it's an uptrend or a downtrend. For an uptrend, we say 100% at the bottom, 0% at the top. 100% at the bottom, 0% at the top. So this is an uptrend for us. You will agree with me, this is an uptrend. To further confirm that is an uptrend, I will look at the diagonal line. Where is it projecting from? You see that it is projecting from bottom to the top like this. So I'll focus on the candle at the top. I will locate that candle. This is extra information I'm giving you people for better understanding, please. Once you understand, you might not be doing it. So I'll focus on this candle. Every candle before the diagonal line, after the diagonal line, every candle before the diagonal line, I am not interested in these candles. The candles I am interested in are candles before the diagonal line. No, sorry, candles after the diagonal line. These are the candles I'm interested in. Candles after the diagonal line. And of all the candles I'm most interested in is the current candle, which is this. And for an uptrend, where do I want to see my current candle? I want to see at the 61.8% line or anywhere below it. So currently you see that is below the 61.8% line, is around the 151.8% and 51.8%, which is fine, which is perfect. So it's a very good entry. So all you need to do is you take your entry from the current price. So what is the current price of the current candle? It is at 2.24 something. It fluctuates. So if I am sending a signal, I will leave allowance. Let's say I leave allowance at 2.2. You see, it's coming to my allowance. So let's say I leave a signal at this point and I pick 1.5%. 1.5%. This becomes my exit point. So this becomes my exit point, and this becomes my entry point. You see, it has come below my preset price and it has gone up again. So I will send this on the signal. Let me see how I can send this on the signal channel. Please hold on. What's today's date? 21. Two point two four six five. 2.2465. Okay, so I have sent a signal. Sorry, 1.5% is 1.5%. That's the take profits. I just edited. So if you are on the signal channel, you will see I have just sent a signal 1.5%. And if you have money, you can trade that signal. It's as simple as that, 1.5%. And you're using $1,000, you're using $500, you do it 2 times, 3 times in a day, 1.5, 1.5, you're making $15, and you're out of the trade. So this is a live trade, and let's see how it goes, please. So that is that on short entry. So let's talk about long entry. If this on short entry is clear, let me know, please. If the short entry is clear, please, I need a word on the chart clear, please, because we are going to long entry. Okay, we have good number of responses. Among the new members, is this clear? King Joseph, among the new members, is this clear? Are they still on this call? Okay, I'm having good responses on that. So let's talk about the long entry. Like I said earlier, that the long entry, for long entry, please take note. The condition I've stated when we were talking about short entry, it is the same conditions we are going to be using for long entry. So if you have those conditions at your fingertips, you don't have issues with long entry. So just pay attention for this long entry. For long entry, what is the difference between long entry and short entry? The difference is in its time frame. Just like we were saying for short entry, we were looking at 1 minute, 5 minutes, and 15 minutes. But when it comes to long entry, we are going to be looking at 30 minutes, So if we are looking at the 30 minutes, we are looking at, okay, let me let me still leave this part. Now for long entry, take note for long entry, please. For long entry, we are going to be looking at what we call shorter time frame also under long entry, and we have longer time frame or confirmation time frame. So if we are looking at 30 minutes, if we are looking at the 30 minutes, we need to confirm on the 1 day. So on 30 minutes, on your notepad, you want to write 30 minutes to 1 day. Then you want to write 4 hours, 1 hour rather, 1 hour to 1 week. 1 hour to 1 week. And you want to write 4 hours to 1 month. Take note of this, please. The script is already posted here, so you can go through the script and look at it too. Now, on the one, if we have 30 minutes to 1 day, it means that 30 minutes is our shorter time frame here. Then 1 day is our longer time frame or confirmation time frame. If we are looking at 4 hours, it means 4 hours is our shorter time frame and 1 week is our longer time frame or confirmation time frame. And if we are looking at the 4 hours, which means 4 hours is our shorter time frame and 1 month is our longer time frame or confirmation time frame. Take note of that, please. Take note of that, please. So I hope this is clear and you guys have written it down. Now, I will know the conditions. Wow, why did I remove everything? Sorry. I will know the conditions. I will know these conditions now. Let's go and use another chart. You already know the 3 conditions you want to see on a shorter time frame on the stochastic RSI. You already know what your auto Fibonacci helps you to do. You already know uptrend, how to spot uptrend and downtrend. So we don't need to talk about it now. So let's just go and do long entry and pick our trade. So let's look at this one. Let's look at this point now. Now, for long entry, remember we are looking at the 30 minutes. 30 minutes is our shorter time frame. Now, on the long entry, where do we want to see our stochastic RSI? We set 3 conditions. Any 2 at least is okay. So first, the RSI is touching the bias zone, which is the green line. Second is between 0 and 20. If you look at it to my right, 5.0 is at 1.56. Third is pointing up. Is pointing up, but does not really point up, but it's about pointing up. So let's say at least 2 of these conditions are met. At least any 2 of these conditions are met. So do you pick the trade immediately on the 30 minutes? No, you have to do a confirmation check on a longer time frame or confirmation time frame. So on the longer time frame, which is happen to be our 1 day. So we are going to the 1 day. Let's check on the longer time frame. What if the condition is met? So I click on the longer time frame. Now, on the longer time frame, is the condition met? No, the condition is not met. Why? Because on the confirmation time frame, we want to see our RSI between the yellow line and the green line. But for now, our RSI is around the seller zone. It means it is not met. Now, since it is not met, do I leave this coin? No. I have to check the next shorter time frame. So since I said 30 minutes to 1 day, 1 hour to 1 week. So the next thing I need to check on that same coin, I need to go to my 1 hour. So immediately 1 hour becomes my new shorter time frame. So I look at the 1 hour. I click on the 1 hour. Let's see if the condition is met. Yes, condition is met on the shorter time frame, as 1 hour is my new shorter time frame. The condition in the shorter time frame is met. I'm seeing 3 conditions. It's touching the green line, is between 0 and 20, is pointing up, and also between 0 and 25. So at this point, what do I need to do? I need to do a confirmation check on the 1 week, which happens to be my new longer time frame. So on the 1 week, yes, on the 1 week, the condition is met. What is the condition? Is that your RSI should be between your yellow line and your green line, which is your buyer zone, and 50% buyer and seller zone. Now, this is at it. So it means, yes, you are good to go, meaning you have to come back to your 1 hour to pick that trade, to enter that trade. So on the 1 hour, we said that the stochastic RSI is not sufficient enough for you to pick a trade almost perfectly. So what do you need? You need the help of the auto Fibonacci. So for you to use the auto Fibonacci, you need to now come to the auto Fibonacci on the 1 hour time frame and look if it is an uptrend or a downtrend. So for a downtrend, we want to see 0%. Now on the auto Fibonacci, we are seeing 0% at the bottom and 100% at the top. And 100% at the top. So this is the 100% at the top. So this confirms to us that this is a downtrend. So now that you know that is a downtrend, you want to locate the current position of the candle. Now, you are not interested in, you can also spot your diagonal line projecting from down to, this is just an extra information, from down to the bottom, confirming is a downtrend. Then you put your vertical line. Then you know that, of course, any candle before the diagonal line is not valid. What you are interested in are candles after the diagonal line. And of all the candles you are interested in, you are interested in the position of the current candle, which happens to be this green candle. And now we now say for a downtrend, you want to see the current candle below this. You want to see the current candle on the 0% line or anywhere below the 0% line. So in this case, we are seeing the current candle on between the minus 23.6% and minus 38.2% line, which is a good one for us to use. But there's a condition. If you look at your script now, let's make use of this condition on the script. They say if it is a downtrend, sorry, someone is asking me a question that 1 day for 1 month. I didn't say 1 day for 1 month, please. I said is there, the script is there, is 4 hours 1 month. Please take note of that. It's 4 hours 1 month, not 1 day 1 month. 4 hours 1 month. You look at the 4 hours time frame and 1 month. Take note of that. The script is there. Go through the script. Now, since we have spot that is a downtrend, there's a script for this, please. Current condition for a downtrend. Current candle. Now, for a downtrend, if you see the current candle between the 0% line, like in this case, this is the current candle, is between this 0% line and the minus 38.2% line. That is the condition. Look down. For the current candle to be between 0% line and minus 38.2% line, what do you want to do? You measure your take profit from the 38.2% line and divide it. You measure your take profit to the 38.2% line and divide it by 2. So let me explain that statement. Now, in this case, if you see the current candle between the 0% line and minus 38% line, now from that current, please, can anybody hear me? Queen Ifeoluwa, can you hear me? Dollar Queen, can you hear me? King Bashir, can you hear me? Okay, thank you, King Bashir. Now, now let me make you a host. You're supposed to be a co-host here so that you can also assist me. Okay, King Bashir, you are now a co-host. Assist me, please. Now, we are now saying that if you see the current candle between the 0% line, where is the 0% line? Yeah. And between the 0% line and the minus 38.2% line. Now, what should you do? Now, see the current candle is actually meeting that condition. All you need to do is enter at the current price, which is this. This is the current price. Then you measure your take profit with your price range. Price range is used to measure take profit. You measure it to the 38.2% line, which will give you 6%, 6.25%. Now, if some traders have patience, some traders do not have patience. It is just we, the retailers, that we want to come out of trade fast. All these financial institutions, the banks, BlackRock, Fidelity, they don't trade on a shorter time frame. They trade on 1 month, 1 week. Because they are using large amount of funds, they just want to make it big. It doesn't matter how long they are going to stay in the market. It is just we retailer that we are just bothered. So let's assume now I have taken the profit. It says take profit to the 38.2%. I'm using the script for you, please. Go through the script. Now I take profit to the 38.2% line, which is giving me 6%. 6.27%. Let's assume this is one particular trader, trader A. Trader A has patience. Trader B does not have patience. Because trader B does not have patience, he's going to divide this 6.2 into 2 places. That will come out about 3 point something. Let's say roughly 3. So trader B will just take 3%. 3%. Half of 6 point something. Let's assume that 3%. Just take your 3% and you're out. So that was what the script is saying. That if you see the current candle between the 0% line, between the 0% line and the minus 38.2% line for a downtrend, take your profit from the current price to the 38.2% line. Then if you are not patient enough, if the take profit is too big for you, divide it by 2, which is what this trader B is doing right now. So we divide it by 2, just take 3%. 3% is somewhere around there. 3%. So this becomes your exit point. So we follow the instruction. So you divided it by 2. Trader A went for 6.27%. Trader B said, no, I can't wait this long. I have to divide this take profit by 2. So it took 3%. And this is a live trade I am going to send on the chart now. So the same thing you are going to do with uptrend. Just follow simple rules and you get it done. So that is that. Because of time, we are going to end the section here. I need questions on the, I need to attend to questions, please. So I'm dropping this signal for long entry, 3%. I'm leaving, let me leave preset price of 0.5. No, let me draw it well. Sometimes you have to extend your, if you don't extend this thing, let me leave it here, 3%. So 3.3 on 3.3. 0.53 and 3%. So I just dropped this signal right now. So you can also trade this signal. I left a preset price for that. I didn't pick it at the current price because I know it will definitely return before it goes up again. So this is 3%. So these are the two trades. So as a newbie, if you are here, if you have learned how to place trade, you can take this trade. But if you have not learned how to place trade, please don't go and do wrong configuration. Allow your upline to direct you on what to do. So we just analyze two trades now. So having said that, because of time, if you have any question on the chat, go through the script. Just use the conditions I've explained for you. Short entry, long entry, follow the script, you will get it. So if you have questions, drop your questions on the chat. Let me attend to those questions, please. Drop your questions on the chat. Let me attend to those questions. If there is no question, yes, you can trade short entry using $100. But mind you, you will make a lot of profit because 1.5%, even if you do boot tactics, there's what we call boot tactics and default settings. That is another thing you will need to understand. I usually explain this section every Tuesday, and we have recorded versions of it. So go to our YouTube channel. If any one of you here can drop our YouTube channel, let them subscribe to our YouTube channel so they can get access to those our previous videos. So there's what called default settings and boot tactics. So if you are using short entry and using $100, if you use default settings, you might not even make up to $1.5. But if you use boot tactics, you might be seeing $1.5. No, sorry, what is $1.5? I'm sorry, $100. You are taking 1.5%. What is 1.5% of $100, please? So do the mathematics. So if you are using boot tactics, the whole of your $100 will be in the trade. And once it does 1.5%, it gives you, that is the profit you're going to get. But if you are using default settings, not 100% of your capital will be inside the trade. Just a fraction of your money will be inside the trade. Is there anyone on this group to drop? Okay, let me see if I can access it also and send. So like I said, you can make use of $100, but it's not going to give you good profit, please. So you might want to go for long entry. Take your 3%. If you are using boot tactics, you are taking 3%. You are expecting a return of $3.3 if 100% of your capital enters into the trade. If you are using default settings, you should be expecting 1.5, 2 point something dollars also because of the default settings. So if you want to understand boot tactics, default settings, go to our YouTube channel, look out for we are going to send a link to you, Seth. If you just get started, we are going to send a link to you. So if you can see this trade now, it has come below our preset price. So anyone that is just coming to see this signal is an advantage to even pick the trade at a more cheaper price. At a more cheaper price. Remember, we buy low and sell high. So I believe no more questions. Is there any more questions? This is 12:30. We should be rounding up with the section. If there are any questions, let's attend to those questions now. If not, so let me find a way to send this link right now for someone asking on this group. I think I have access to it. I have access to it right now. If you have access to it, you can also send Send, please. I'm not finding it. I can't see it at the moment, but I'm going to drop it in one of our groups. So if you're on that group, definitely. Queen Adenike, you are a familiar person, so you'll definitely get it. So in the absence of no questions, I am going to end this section. I believe you guys add value from this section. If you add value from this section, I need the word value on the chat before we go, please. If you got value from this section, I need the word value before we end the section for today. As a newbie, if you got value from this section, I need the word value. If you are a newbie and you're still here, you got value from this section, I need the word value. Okay, thank you, everyone. I'm going to end this section at this point.